Good day and night to our dear listeners all around the world. Welcome to another episode of our podcast. I'm your host, Maria.
And also your host, Majoy. This is Unmasked with Podkada.
So, for today's episode, we have an interesting topic to talk about, and this is a really relevant issue in these times. And based on the title of this episode, this topic is about toxic masculinity. And to give you a brief background, it's these things like being told not to cry, to always be the leader, to be dominant, and to conceal their weaknesses from others.
You're right, Maria. And now we are joined by some of our guests to break down and discuss where these ideas come from, and as well as why it's important to remove such expectation for everyone's well-being.
So, sino nga ba ang mga kabanding natin today? Kilalanin na natin sila. Hello po!
Hello po.
Hello, I'm Sansi.
Hi, and I'm Davy.
Sadly, may dalawa pa tayong guests na kasama natin dito. Kaso, hindi natin sila makakasama dito sa live na to. But they prepared a special video for us to know more about the issue.
Hello sa inyo, Sansi at Davy. Tama ka dyan, Majoy. Mas palalawakin nila ang kaalaman natin tungkol sa kung paano ito makakaapekto sa atin and ano ba dapat ang mga dapat gawin para mabawasan natin ang mga gantong issue. So, guys, it's really nice to see you all today. And to start off with our podcast, let's start with Sansi. Ask ko lang to. Can you define what toxic masculinity is?
So according to Maureen, toxic masculinity refers to a collection of offensive, harmful beliefs, tendencies, and behaviors rooted in traditional male roles but taken to an extreme. It has three core ideas such as toughness or yung pagiging macho, ganun, anti-femininity, which is yung pag-reject sa feminine traits such as pag-show ng emotions or yung pag-iyak, etc. And power, yung parang may ano ka, may control ka, parang may higher authority ka over a large group of people, ganun.
Ang interesting na definition. Now, tell us, what are the key traits to identify the issue? Sa paanong paraan namin malalaman kung ang tao ay may toxic masculinity?
Well, according to Greenhill, some traits of toxic masculinity include physical aggression, fear of emotions, discrimination against people that aren't heterosexual, hyperindependence, sexual aggression or violence, and anti-feminist behavior. So, um, ano kasi siya, bale, lahat naman tayo may specific gender roles, and as we're aware, the societal gender roles for male is yung Ah, malalaki, yung brave, yung tough, etc. Ganun, yung hindi umiiyak, hindi nagpapakita ng emosyon, etc. Ang difference kasi niya sa normal societal roles and toxic masculinity kasi is parang mas ano siya, mas malala siya in a way na parang nakaka-harm na yung pagiging masculine mo sa ibang tao, such as ayun nga yung sa discrimination against people that aren't heterosexual, considered as ano na siya, considered as homophobia, ganun. And yung sa anti-feminist behavior, sexual aggression or violence, that can consider as misogyny na rin, ganun.
So, ang ganda naman na answer mo, no? So, may question pa ako sa'yo. What do you think is the difference of both real masculinity to the toxic masculinity? Um, do you think na they are the same ba? Or may pagka-difference ba silang dalawa?
So, ayun, contrast to toxic masculinity, meron ding healthy masculinity, and Caraballo defines it as men experiencing a fuller range of emotions and sharing their feelings with others, that they can be honest with themselves about their own feelings, needs, and desires. Ano kasi siya, ayun nga, going back sa societal roles ng male and sa toxic masculinity, ang toxic masculinity is in a harmful way na siya. You're using your masculinity in a harmful way. And parang ano ka, let's say na rin na hindi ka in line with your emotions. Kasi apart kasi sa toxic masculinity yung disregard your own emotions kasi nga ayaw nga ng society na nagpapakita ng emotion yung lalaki ganun. And ayun din for healthy masculinity na mas mas more in touch ka with your own emotions and your own feelings. Kasi nga, there's really nothing wrong about men showing their own feelings. Tao din naman ng lalaki. What's stopping them from showing their own emotions? Lahat daw ng lalaki may karapatan para umiyak, magparamdam ng ganito, ganyan. So, ayun, to end that, I just have to say that no men are exempt from the insidious nature of toxic masculinity. Hindi naman natin maiiwasan yan. As sad to say, kasi napaka-rampant ng pag instill nitong mindset na to. And in order to learn what healthy masculinity is and truly put it into daily practice, we must engage in a process of intentional self-growth and commitment to change.
Ang ganda na naging definition pala ng toxic masculinity. Ngayon, dumako naman tayo sa roots ng toxic masculinity. Ngayon, Davy, matanong ko lang, sa tingin mo, saan nagagaling yung issue na to? From its cultural, historical, and societal origins?
So, the media often supports harmful masculinity ideals. The rigid gender norms are further enforced because male characters tend to be tougher and more aggressive, reckless, or domineering than an average man. Men learn not to express their emotions in families by getting socialized with messages such as boys will be boys and stop crying, be a man, and eventually they develop an understanding of emotional suppression than being normal. Mental health problems are firmly associated with this pressure. A review on somatic scholars says that masculinity is constructed in society in the patriarchal context where it will always be identified with something strong and hard, and femininity is described as something soft and passive.
Okay, so um, to add lang sa question ni Majoy kanina, no? How are patriarchal systems and gender roles triggering this issue? Kasi medyo ano siya ngayon 'di ba? Parang medyo relevant nga siya and parang may play rin yung patriarchal system natin ngayon. So, paano siya nakaka-trigger sa issue na 'to ngayon?
The concepts about a man have been shown as constantly in the need to be reinforced in a patriarchal system as a strict and strong and high stand individual. When such standards are not followed, an individual is likely to be considered as weak or vulnerable. According to Maria is Quixotic, shows that in a Filipino culture, men are supposed to be self-sufficient and repressed in their emotions, which results in numerous problems, including the exhibit of anxiety, depression, and identity conflict.
Another question then, how about the influence of media and family expectation affects this behavior?
As reported by Medical Channel Asia, the role of the media is massive as they continuously depict men as hard, careless, and cold. Such images habituate the audience, particularly young boys, into thinking that this way is how the behavior should be. Meanwhile, the expectations in families, such as telling the boy off and telling him not to cry or be a man, promote the fact that expressing feelings is a form of weakness. In the Philippines, this has gone towards the so-called barako stereotype, a man who needs to be tough and quiet even when in agony.
So, now naman, we're going to be tackling about the real-world impacts on both men and others. Titingnan natin ngayon kung nagse-shape 'tong toxic masculinity sa ibang tao and paano, nase-shape nito yung ideas and thoughts natin about this issue, 'no? So this is going to be discussed through a video by, um, Miss Francesca Estacio.
You ever notice how guys are told from a young age they have to be tough? In control, never cry, never show weakness. Sounds familiar, right? So, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. When men are constantly told to bottle everything up, that has a cost. They start suppressing their emotions, no tears, no vulnerability, and over time, that emotional shutdown turns into something deeper. Isolation, disconnection, struggles with real meaningful relationships. And let's talk about mental health for a second because it matters. So, depression, anxiety, even suicidal rates among men, they're high, but asking for help, that's often seen as weakness, eh. Because the message has always been man up, deal with it alone. And that pressure builds for some, it turns into frustration. For others, it becomes anger. And sadly, a lot of men turn to unhealthy coping like substance abuse, violence, or just emotionally shutting down. But here's the truth. It's not strength. It's a system that's hurting men from inside out. Now let's look Now let's look at who else this system harms. Think about queer men or trans women, people who live outside that narrow definition of what a real man is supposed to be. They're often targeted not because they done something wrong, but because they challenge the norm. Okay? So it's not just discomfort, it's about control. This rigid idea of masculinity exists to keep straight cisgender men at the top. And everything or anyone that threatens that order gets pushed down. So, at the heart of it, it's fear. Fear of difference, fear of losing power. Uh, but instead, but instead of turning that fear into hate, maybe it's time we turn it into understanding, no? Because masculinity, it doesn't stop with men. It fuels harm against women and LGBTQ plus people. It starts with belief that men have to prove themselves through dominance and control, and that can show up in that can show up in a really harmful ways. Violence, entitlement, um, even worse is a lot of it's normalized. No, those harmless misogynistic jokes, the locker room talk, the brushing off women's experiences, um, society often laughs it off or uh, ignores it, but those things sends a message that disrespect is okay, and when someone does speak up, especially women or queer folks, they're often shut down, silenced, blamed. It's a culture that protects the abuser, not the victim. And if we don't if we don't start calling that out, it just keeps going, no? So yun lang.
Oh, gano'n pala 'yun 'no, grabe palang impact nung issue na 'to. So bale hindi lang talaga siya sa mga lalaki kundi sa lahat ng genders and apektado talaga lahat sa ganitong issue 'no?
Tama ka nga diyan, Maria. Ito rin pala ang nagiging dahilan bakit misogynistic ang iba sa atin. Thank you for sharing your thoughts about the impacts, Miss Estacio. We really appreciated it. Ngayon, dumako naman tayo kung paano natin i-break tong cycle. Ang video na 'to i-explain at ipapakita ni Francesca Isabel Castro.
For me, healthy masculinity looks like when a man flourishes for himself, for his family, for his future generations, and most especially rin sa community niya. Healthy masculinity para sa akin is knowing what you are and who you are, and you take good care of your physical health and your mental health. And above all that, syempre, dapat yung ginagalingan rin yung skills niya, di ba? Kumbaga, he improves himself and makes himself capable of his responsibilities and to take action when needed. He has drive and he has goals and desire to leave a mark in the world. So I think for me, healthy masculinity is knowing you have potential as a man. First and foremost, I think what men really need is to have safe spaces. Dapat meron silang mga peer circles or mga groups kung saan they feel understood so that they can express openness, they can express themselves. A study by Jill Phillips in 2020 actually showed significant results when this was done. Their research shows they're establishing trust in all male groups, which significantly improves man's willingness to express emotional concerns like anxiety and depression. So another factor is of course normalizing emotional expression, diba? And reducing the stigma, men should have these role models. So be it public figures, peers, or leaders who feel free and open to narrate their emotional experiences, diba? So we have this campaigns that can use humor or personal narratives para ma-challenge yung norms natin when it comes to emotional expression with men. In school, I strongly believe that we should normalize conversations, especially about masculinity, diba? And we should be able to integrate a very inclusive curriculum. And of course, we need to hire teachers and support those who try to disrupt the stigmas and the norms that can be very harmful. So sa family naman, I think that fathers have a big role talaga. And they should engage more in caregiving and taking care of their kids, 'di ba? And fathers should open conversations for their children, especially the difficult conversations like for example about their mental health and the like. And of course, dapat ituro sa kids nila na ang masculinity ay hindi lang dapat matigas. Hindi lang pagiging matigas, you know? Kumbaga, they should understand that healthy masculinity is flexible and should not be imprisoned in stereotypes that society made us to believe, diba? Especially at a young age. I feel like when men have these support systems, this will help build a foundation for the boys and the young men to grow and be emotionally expressive and be empathetic individuals. So, this ultimately challenges yung toxic masculinity na kinaugalian natin.
Wow, grabe, ganun pala dapat gawin natin para masira natin ang cycle ng toxic masculinity.
Kaya nga, partner, no? Our guests really made their points clear and strong. And I really like how they also have their sources kasi ibig sabihin na nag-research talaga sila and regarding the topic, no? And it shows na pinaghandaan talaga nila tong podcast natin. And pinahalagahan din nila yung pagbigay ng information sa mga guests, sa mga listeners natin para makaalam pa sila lalo sa issue na 'to, 'no? So, yun, sobrang thank you talaga for being here, guys, 'no?
We've now all known the information needed about the toxic masculinity. What an amazing episode we had here. Nakaka-inspire siya at ang dami mong matutunan about toxic masculinity.
Kaya nga 'no, gustong-gusto ko rin yung part nun kay Sansi kanina. I like how she, really gave her insight dun sa issue na 'to, 'no? And I also like how Davy gave her examples and all of her, insights on this issue as well. Same as with Francesca and, Frankie, no? So, bago tayo magtapos, I want to leave every listener with a question. How has toxic masculinity shown up in your life? Whether you've lived it, enforced it, or been hurt by it.
These conversations aren't easy, but they are necessary. Talk to your friends and your brothers and your classmates. Listen without judgment. And learning starts with honesty and compassion.
Guys, we'd really love to hear your stories about this kind of issue. Message us, tag us, or start a conversation in your own circles. Healing masculinity is something we all have a role in.
And here's the end of today's episode. I'm your host, Majoy.
And I am Maria. This is Unmasked with Podcada.
Bye-bye.